Greetings, citizens of the world. This is Anonymous. Recently, a massive cloud of what officials call radiation fog has blanketed the heart of the state, stretching across more than 400 miles and affecting over 20 counties. 13 million people have been placed under travel warnings and air quality alerts, urged to remain vigilant as visibility drops and the air itself grows heavy. Among local communities across California's Central Valley, speculation has begun to circulate that the mysterious fog may be connected to secretive experiments carried out by the United States military. While officials insist the phenomenon is natural and seasonal, many residents remain unconvinced, pointing to the fog's unusual persistence and scale as reasons for doubt. Highways vanish into gray nothingness. Commutes become calculated risks. Question the system. We are anonymous. Expect us.
For several days, a massive cloud of radiation fog has blanketed California's Central Valley, prompting widespread travel warnings and air quality alerts affecting more than 13 million residents. Stretching across a 400-mile corridor and touching more than 20 counties, the fog has transformed familiar landscapes into muted silhouettes and turned daily routines into careful exercises in patience and caution. Although its name sounds alarming, radiation fog has nothing to do with nuclear activity. It is a natural meteorological event, yet one with serious consequences for modern communities. Radiation fog forms when the ground cools rapidly after sunset, releasing stored heat back into the air. Under calm conditions, moisture condenses near the surface, producing a dense, low-lying fog that can linger well into the morning hours. In the Central Valley's flat terrain, the fog can become exceptionally thick, persisting until sunlight gradually warms the ground and allows it to dissipate. This phenomenon is common during late fall and winter, particularly after the season's first major rainstorms soak the soil and long, still nights follow. The National Weather Service has issued repeated alerts describing the fog as a high transportation risk. Visibility can drop to only a few feet, making highways and rural roads especially hazardous. Regions including the Bay Area, the Sacramento Valley, and the San Joaquin Valley have all been affected, with major cities such as Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, Oakland, and Stockton experiencing some of the most severe conditions. More than 2 million people in these communities alone have felt the direct impact. Also known as two-leaf fog, this weather pattern typically appears in November, intensifies from December through February, and fades by March. Social media reactions reflect both fear and familiarity, with residents describing the fog as one of their greatest seasonal worries. Many longtime Californians recall past incidents when dense fog led to large-scale traffic collisions along Central Valley highways, including a major chain reaction crash along Highway 99 on the 3rd of November 2007, when near-zero visibility south of Fresno caused widespread harm and injuries. Beyond transportation dangers, radiation fog poses serious air quality concerns. The fog itself does not create pollution, but it acts like a lid on a pot, trapping contaminants close to the ground. When a layer of warmer air sits above the cold fog near the surface, car exhaust, factory emissions, fireplace smoke, and farm dust accumulate where people breathe. Toxic particles, including fine particulate matter known as PM 2.5, can hover over cities for hours. Breathing this polluted air can worsen respiratory conditions such as asthma and increase coughing and wheezing, particularly among children and older adults. Hospitals in the Central Valley often report higher numbers of emergency visits for breathing and heart-related issues during foggy winter days. The World Health Organization has identified this type of trapped air pollution as one of the leading contributors to early loss of life worldwide. Research has also revealed a complex relationship between air quality improvements and fog frequency. A study conducted in 2019 by researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, found that stricter clean air regulations have reduced the number of tiny particles in the atmosphere. Because fog droplets need these particles to form, there are now fewer days of thick two-leaf fog than there were several decades ago. Researcher Ellen Gray noted that the southern part of the valley still experiences more fog, coinciding with higher pollution levels. Radiation fog in California's Central Valley is both a natural seasonal occurrence and a reminder of the delicate balance between environment, infrastructure, and public health. As the fog continues to roll in during winter months, it underscores the importance of preparedness, clean air policies, and public awareness in protecting millions of people who live and travel beneath its quiet grey veil. In the days following the controversial rollout of the Online Safety Act in the United Kingdom, public debate around censorship and surveillance has continued to intensify. Now, a new development in the United States has added fuel to the growing fire of concern. YouTube, one of the world's most widely used digital platforms, has begun implementing an artificial intelligence-powered system that estimates a user's age based not on their declared birth date, but on their behavior. This move, while positioned as a measure to enhance safety and privacy for users under the age of 18, is raising serious questions about the broader implications of such technology, especially in the context of digital freedom and autonomy. Previously, YouTube relied on the birth date users entered during account creation to determine their eligibility for teen-specific protections. But with the arrival of this new AI-driven system, that method is being phased out. Instead, YouTube will use machine learning to monitor behavior, browsing habits, and interaction styles to determine whether a user appears to be underage. If the system flags a user as likely being under 18, restrictions will be applied automatically, regardless of the birth date listed on the account. The user will then receive a notification, and if they disagree with the AI's assessment, they will need to verify their age by submitting either a government-issued ID, a facial selfie, or a credit card authentication. This change has already been implemented in other countries, but now it is taking effect in the United States. The decision arrives just 1 week after the United Kingdom's Online Safety Act was enforced, a piece of legislation that, despite its original intentions, has sparked backlash across many segments of the population. Designed to shield citizens, particularly young people, from harmful online content, the Act has instead been accused of overreach, surveillance, and enabling corporate and governmental control over personal data. The irony of these developments is not lost on observers. What began as efforts to create a safer and more respectful online environment are now being seen as methods of control that may limit rather than empower. The YouTube AI system is just the latest chapter in a growing narrative. Safety, it seems, is increasingly coming at the cost of freedom. Many users and digital rights advocates argue that the shift from a birth date-based system to behavior-based surveillance is deeply invasive. They believe that it sets a troubling precedent where trust is replaced by suspicion and where the burden of proof is placed on the user rather than the platform. More than that, it echoes concerns that have already been raised in the United Kingdom, concerns that the digital world is slowly becoming one of regulated access, where visibility and participation depend on one's willingness to surrender personal information. Already, there are reports that individuals flagged by such systems have found themselves locked out of content, not just videos or entertainment, but educational material, social commentary, and even footage of political protests. Those who choose not to verify their identity are, in effect, silenced. Their experience of the internet becomes limited, filtered, and incomplete. This pattern has alarmed many. When digital platforms begin to restrict information based on unverifiable assumptions or demand personal documents to gain access, the internet begins to lose its foundational purpose. It no longer functions as a space of exploration and free exchange, but rather as a controlled environment where participation is conditional. This raises ethical and philosophical concerns about where the line should be drawn between protecting vulnerable users and respecting the rights of all individuals to engage with content freely and anonymously. In democratic societies, the right to access information without being monitored, profiled, or forced to submit personal details is a critical principle. Yet, with the rise of AI-based moderation systems and identity verification tools, this right appears to be weakening. Many fear that this could be the beginning of a global shift, one where freedom online is no longer assumed, but negotiated. The rollout of these new systems in the United States comes at a time when the public is already highly sensitive to digital control. The Online Safety Act in the United Kingdom, for example, was introduced with the promise of shielding users from harmful content, yet it has led to widespread criticism. Critics argue that the act has built barriers instead of bridges, cutting people off from important discussions and information under the guise of protection. The concern is not limited to access alone. The psychological impact of knowing one is constantly monitored, evaluated, and categorized by algorithms is significant. For young people especially, who are the focus of these new AI tools, the message is that they must prove their identity to be trusted. It subtly teaches that privacy must be sacrificed in exchange for security, a lesson that many believe is not only harmful, but deeply flawed. What makes these developments even more concerning is the growing trend of other nations looking to follow suit. Despite strong public resistance in the United Kingdom, lawmakers in other countries have already expressed interest in adopting similar policies. This has triggered alarm among international digital rights groups who warn that the global internet may be entering a new era, one marked not by openness and collaboration, but by increasing restriction and compliance. These groups emphasize that while safety online is essential, it must not come at the expense of freedom. There are ways to protect users, especially younger ones, without resorting to invasive surveillance or identity-based gating systems. Solutions such as content filters, parental controls, and education-based initiatives can offer protection without undermining privacy or civil liberties. Yet it seems the direction being taken by major platforms like YouTube is focused more on regulatory compliance and liability avoidance than on fostering a balanced, ethical digital space. The AI-driven age estimation tool may serve its intended function in some cases, but its broader impact is what concerns observers most. Once this level of behavioral surveillance becomes normal, it is difficult to roll back. And once trust in digital privacy is eroded, it is even harder to rebuild. The introduction of these new policies in the United States marks a critical turning point. It raises difficult but necessary questions. Who controls access to information? Who decides what content is appropriate and for whom? What role should AI play in shaping our digital lives, and what rights do users retain when algorithms make the decisions? These are not just technical or policy questions, they are deeply human ones. They go to the heart of what it means to live in an open society, and how much of that openness we are willing to trade for a sense of security. As technology continues to advance, and as AI tools become more deeply embedded in everyday platforms, it is essential that transparency, accountability, and user rights remain at the center of the conversation. The public deserves clear answers, not vague assurances. And more importantly, users deserve a say in how they are treated, not just as data points, but as individuals. The road forward will require a careful balance between innovation and ethics, between safety and freedom. If left unchecked, the tools that claim to protect may end up doing the opposite. The time to question, to debate, and to demand clarity is now, before the open internet becomes a thing of the past. In the annals of digital history, few entities have captured the world's imagination and garnered as much attention as the loosely organized, decentralized collective known as Anonymous. Anonymous is a global phenomenon that has emerged as a powerful force in the realm of digital activism, hacktivism, and online vigilantism. In 2017, Anonymous revealed that a remarkable discovery came to light, revealing that a collector residing in Pittsburgh possessed a fascinating assortment of historical artifacts. Among his prized possessions were not one, but two NASA computers from the renowned Apollo era, along with a substantial collection of hundreds of magnetic tapes. These tapes harbored the potential of containing invaluable information pertaining to the profound exploration of outer space. Regrettably, the speculation surrounding the significance of these tapes will now forever remain a mystery. NASA, in a surprising turn of events, issued an order for their eradication, leaving us devoid of the opportunity to uncover the enigmatic knowledge they could have bestowed upon us. It is worth noting that the individual who had safeguarded these extraordinary artifacts in his garage unfortunately passed away in the year 2011. According to reports, an interesting incident occurred in 2015 when a man stumbled upon NASA computers while cleaning out a basement and garage. To his surprise, he also discovered a collection of magnetic data tapes dating back to the years between 1967 and 1974. These tapes were none other than labeled as Pioneer probe missions, holding immense historical value. In a document released by NASA, it was disclosed that an administrative investigation was launched upon receiving information from a redacted source. The source, a resident of Pittsburgh, had been contacted by a NASA official in relation to her possession of a computer bearing a plate labeled Goddard Space Flight Center, along with reels of magnetic data tapes. Notably, several tapes were specifically labeled as from the year 1969 and were found in the process of cleaning the residence of a deceased individual. This incident raised various intriguing questions and piqued the interest of both NASA and the general public, and the recovery of these potentially significant historical data tapes undoubtedly provided a unique opportunity to delve into the early days of NASA's exploration efforts. The comprehensive administrative investigation aimed to shed light on the origins and significance of these tapes, and this incident offers a fascinating glimpse into the past achievements and advancements of NASA. The enriched understanding of these historical magnetic data tapes from the Pioneer probe missions can potentially provide valuable insights and enhance our knowledge of space exploration during that era. In a documented report on December 1, 2015, someone conducted an interview with a person whose identity has been redacted, discussing an intriguing subject related to NASA reels and computers. The individual revealed that they engage in scrapping as a hobby, which not only brings them joy, but also serves as an additional source of income. It was conveyed that this person was approached by someone, also redacted for anonymity, who was familiar with their scrapping hobby. The individual disclosed that the person who approached them had recently passed away, leaving behind a considerable amount of electronic equipment at their residence. According to the interviewee, the person who approached them explicitly stated that they were welcome to take whatever they desired from the deceased person's residence. During the weekend of November 14, 2015, the individual took the opportunity to tidy up the deceased person's home and, to their astonishment, stumbled upon a treasure trove. Among their findings were approximately 300 reel tapes from NASA, which were determined to date back from 1969 to 1972, capturing a significant period in the organization's history. Additionally, they discovered 2 large computers that bore distinctive NASA markings. The discovery of these rare artifacts not only added excitement to the person who found them, but they took the reel tapes from their original location and brought them to his own residence. However, he left the computers behind at the other person's house because they were too heavy to conveniently transport. They mentioned that a crane might have been utilized to move the computers. It is important to note that he expressed his intention to act in accordance with the law and return the NASA property. In order to facilitate this process, they had a key to the person's residence and were willing to accompany investigators to inspect the computers. This potential recovery operation of the NASA historic items has been coordinated and approved by the History Office and NASA headquarters. In addition, they have expressed a desire to personally review the reel tapes for any historical significance they may hold. To assist in this endeavor, he has requested assistance from the NASA Office of Inspector General in collecting the reel tapes from Pittsburgh. This collaborative effort aims to ensure the proper handling and preservation of these valuable NASA artifacts. It is intriguing to note that the entire situation was shrouded in secrecy until Motherboard became aware of the events and subsequently obtained the documents through a Freedom of Information Act request. The subsequent release of these documents made the information accessible to the public. The release of the documents, despite being accomplished, has raised concerns due to the extensive redaction of crucial details. Though lacking in transparency, one aspect that emerged was the confirmation of NASA's deliberate destruction of all the files. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, renowned for its remarkable achievements and significant contributions to scientific research, holds a distinguished position as one of the world's foremost research agencies. It stands as a pioneer in the field of space exploration, having conducted groundbreaking missions since its inception. Over the course of its history, NASA has propelled countless technological advancements and made significant discoveries that have reshaped our understanding of the cosmos. Despite its extensive studies and experience, NASA officials have not been immune to errors and failures. This underscores the notion that even the most knowledgeable and capable individuals can still make mistakes. While NASA has encountered instances of mishaps and setbacks, it is important to recognize that not all of these incidents have been disclosed to the public. Undoubtedly, NASA's accomplishments have captured the imagination of the world, marking the triumphs of human ingenuity and scientific progress. From the momentous first launch into space to the continuous exploration of distant celestial bodies, NASA's expeditions have paved the way for groundbreaking discoveries, revealing aspects of our universe that were once shrouded in mystery. One pivotal error committed by NASA was the unfortunate loss of the original footage capturing the historic first moonwalk. It is worth noting that NASA officials have asserted their diligent efforts in searching for these mysteriously misplaced tapes ever since their absence was officially confirmed. However, skepticism has arisen among many individuals regarding NASA's explanation, given the staggering quantity of tapes that could potentially be misplaced. The significance of this loss cannot be overstated, as it represents a substantial gap in documenting one of humankind's most remarkable achievements. The absence of this valuable footage has fueled speculation and raised questions about the accuracy and reliability of NASA's claims. The issue at hand revolves around the inquiry of how the highly significant tapes were inadvertently misplaced. It is worth noting that prior to their misplacement, selected segments from the footage had been publicly aired on television. The momentous occasion of mankind's initial steps on the lunar surface constituted an unmatched feat in the realm of space exploration, making it all the more astonishing that the loss of these tapes could have transpired so effortlessly. This incident raises perplexing questions regarding the circumstances surrounding the tape's disappearance and prompts a deeper exploration into the potential reasons and consequences of this regrettable occurrence. Numerous hypotheses have emerged surrounding the mysterious disappearance of the tapes, featuring a range of explanations. While some put forth the notion that these tapes were deliberately withheld from the public as a precautionary measure, others maintain that they were genuinely misplaced. Moreover, more intricate theories have also been posited. Among these is a theory concocted by a community skeptical of NASA's reliability, alleging that the purportedly missing files harbor some concealed secrets, prompting the space agency to eliminate any incriminating evidence contained within them. These diverse conjectures have generated a discourse rife with speculation and intrigue. However, in recent years, a remarkable discovery was made regarding the previously lost tapes. It has been revealed that a staggering number of over 200,000 recording tapes, which NASA had initially categorized as not important, underwent demagnetization to be repurposed for future use. Consequently, these tapes inadvertently made their way to an auction. Astonishingly, it was a NASA intern who, unbeknownst to the tape's historical significance, acquired approximately 65 boxes of these recordings through the said auction. Initially planning to profit from selling the tapes to a television station, where they would have been recycled for new recordings, the intern stumbled upon a peculiar label affixed to the boxes that explicitly identified them as being associated with the Apollo 11 mission. Coincidentally aware of the widely known tale of the lost tapes, the intern embarked on a quest to determine their true contents. The resourceful intern ingeniously managed to play the tapes, defying their intended fate. Thus began the incredible journey of rediscovering the long-lost and forgotten footage. It took extensive effort and dedication, but ultimately the intern's efforts were fruitful. After meticulously confirming the identity of the tapes as the long-lost recordings, a stunning 2.5 hours of footage were triumphantly recovered and painstakingly digitized, ensuring their preservation for future generations to marvel at and appreciate. One topic that has captivated public interest is that of unidentified flying objects, and even astronauts themselves have shared their own intriguing accounts. Among these individuals, Edgar Mitchell stands out. Mitchell, who was the 6th person to set foot on the moon, played a crucial role in piloting the Apollo 14 lunar module, which marked the inaugural Apollo mission dedicated to conducting scientific experiments on the lunar surface. During this mission, Mitchell and his crew dedicated a remarkable 9 hours to conducting research in the Fra Mauro Highlands region of the moon. While Mitchell is renowned for his extraordinary experience as an astronaut, he has also garnered significant attention within the space community for his outspoken theories concerning UFOs and extraterrestrial life. The combination of Mitchell's upbringing amidst the space race and his subsequent career as an astronaut have undoubtedly shaped his perspective, leading him to delve into the realms of UFOs and the potential existence of alien life. It is important to note that Mitchell's interest in UFOs and extraterrestrial phenomena goes beyond mere speculation. He is engaged in scientific research and exploration to support his views, aiming to shed light on the mysteries that lie beyond our planet. Mitchell's willingness to challenge conventional beliefs and explore unconventional ideas has solidified his reputation as a boundary-pushing thinker within both the scientific and UFO research communities. Edgar Mitchell embarked on a remarkable journey in his professional life, initially venturing into a military path by joining the esteemed US Navy as a pilot in 1948. Eventually, his exceptional skills and dedication caught the attention of NASA, leading to his selection as an astronaut in 1966. However, it was in the later stages of Mitchell's career, after retiring from active service, that he found himself entangled in discussions regarding the intriguing realm of paranormal phenomena that occur in the vastness of space, including his own personal encounters. It was during the groundbreaking Apollo 14 mission, a mission largely unknown to the general public, that the extraordinary occurrences surrounding Edgar Mitchell began to unfold.